huge day for Forest, and another poor one for Liverpool.
Those stats actually flatter Liverpool, because I think overall Forest certainly took their chances a lot better than Liverpool did in the final third, as they get their first win out of the relegation zone. Then for Sean Dyche's side, just taking a look then, Liverpool are 11th in the table, sitting on 18 points. Everton, for example, with a win tomorrow against United, will go level on points with Arne Slot's side. We have got quite the former Liverpool contingent with us. Don Hutchinson joins us from Spain. Stephen Manaman is here.
Have a night off, Marker. You're on your holidays.
Craig Burley scored an own goal at Anfield as well. But first, let's start off.
Scored at the Cop End.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and an own goal. Stevie, what the heck was that?
Well, amongst all the problems they have, there is one place that they undoubtedly have to start and fix, and that is the back four. Because you see what Liverpool did in the first 30 minutes. Forest never got out, and then they get out once, end up scoring controversial goal, some would say, all right, I would say. But from that point, Liverpool's mentality just crumbled. 2 minutes later, Jesus had another one. That should have been a goal. And then from there, it could have been 4 or 5 by the end of the game. And so you cannot lose 3 goals at home and beat anybody. Listen, 2 weeks ago, Forest were relegation fodder.
Yeah.
And they've just beaten Liverpool at Anfield. Does that say more about Forest, or does that say more about Liverpool? But in terms of Liverpool, he has to get them on a training field and start doing drills.
But Stevie,
boring drills.
This isn't new. They keep losing games, and he's doing nothing.
Do you know what he said
it?
after the game? He said after the game, well, I'd be more worried if we were not creating chances. Well, they only created some chances in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't really create a lot after that.
I could have played up front.
He's
The amount of touches he's had.
Igor Jesus did the bit. Huh?
All he's doing is trying to cover. He's trying to cover for some of his players. The fact that they did for half an hour create some chances. They could have been ahead, but they weren't. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters. What matters is you actually have to score a goal.
Yeah.
And when you can't, you have to keep a tight ship at the back. And if you do that, there will be days where you struggle going forward, but you win 1-0. That's what good teams do. But right now, they can't keep a clean sheet. And if you're a forward, if you're in the midfield, you know, I was talking yesterday about Barcelona's midfield, how important the outcome of games is because of what the midfield do, because the back four are so high, so vulnerable. Well, it's kind of the same thing with Liverpool. The middle three, if they don't protect the back four, then we've seen all season what's going to happen. Unless and he can't really make personnel changes, so he has to get on the field and he has to drill them and bowl them to death until they get it right. Because that's the only way to do it.
They've had one good week recently. That was
Real Madrid,
Aston Villa, and Real Madrid, right? And then off the back of that, they got walloped by Man City, and they've just been walloped by Nottingham Forest. Could have been 4, might even have been 5 by Forest. That tells you that little 4 or 5 day window that they had was just a blip. It was an anomaly. He hasn't got the answers.
Yeah.
He can't find the answers. He was asked multiple questions after the game, which I know he's not going to come out and spill the beans. But he's you know, who's his best striker? Is it Isak? Is it just fitness with Isak? Or is it Ekitike, who's been the liveliest player for the most part, who's on the bench again? You know, who's the best? You know, even Van Dijk. If you watch Van Dijk at times during this game, he's walking around the second half shaking his head. He's part of the blame. It's not everybody else. He's part of it. You watch him for Holland against Poland in Warsaw a week or so ago. He wasn't great then either. So, you know, when you're, that's before we get to Mo Salah, who's not had a great start to the season, obviously. So when your star players are struggling, Konate, Van Dijk, and others, then how do you expect the less experienced ones like Kerkez and others, and obviously Szoboszlai's playing right back? So, but even at that, I'm surprised by today's performance. I thought there'd be, even though they've been struggling, I still thought there'd been more about Liverpool. It's almost akin to what we saw, not from a footballing perspective, but when we saw Eric Ten Hag's Man United lose a goal. Do you remember? They used to just crumble, and they're not quite there, Liverpool, but they're on the ropes.
Macca, there's obviously a shopping list of problems that Liverpool have at the moment. If I'm a fan, though, 40 seconds into the second half, you've got away with 1-0 going into the break. You think then's the time to come out against this Forest side, who aren't very good. Yet, it's the visitors who go 2-0 up, and everyone watching knew it was dead by then.
Yes, mate. Right. Firstly, it's nice to see you back, mate. Nice to see you there in this chair. But also, I'm listening to the boys, and I completely agree with the legend Stephen Nicol. Of course, they're struggling at the back. They can't just get anything going at this moment in time. This was the start of an amazing run of games where, if you're a Liverpool fan, you think they're going to win today, they're going to win next week, the next 8 games, 9 games, 10 games until they meet Arsenal in January. You think they're going to go on a real good run and catch the teams who were at the top of the league, and everybody's faulting at the minute. I mean, of course, Manchester City today, Arsenal are going to play in the North London derby tomorrow, but you thought that today was the start of something where Liverpool will start a run, and today was one of the worst performances of the season. Yes, they dominated possession, but they struggled defensively, and then they couldn't get anything going up front. They were slow, they couldn't move the ball around, and it was a really... I mean, I've seen Liverpool lose this year and I've been disappointed at times, but this was the one that left me sort of exasperated. It was an awful defeat today because it stopped everybody in its tracks. Yes, it's a difficult result after coming away from an international break, but sometimes after an international break, after a Champions League away game, sometimes you just have to be down and dirty, get the job done, and you move forward. And today, to lose at home to 3, as Bumper said today, it was just the weirdest result that I've seen in a long time.
I know Liverpool are off colour, but you reckon there's definitely something wrong with McManaman as well.
That's late.
Because when's he ever put his hand up for an 11 p.m. Saturday night appearance from Madrid?
I think he got his timings wrong.
There's something awash here.
Don, it was the manner of the defeat, isn't it, that's really concerning.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool fans wouldn't have liked the defeat against Man United, but they played well in that game. They hit the post, I think, 3 times in the game, and they created about 6 or 7 good goal-scoring opportunities today. The last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they never even looked like scoring. I mean, 2 of the back 4, Konate being one of them, all over the place. And what I didn't like, which has gone viral on social media, him actually laughing as he got substituted. That was an awful look, because he's not playing well. Kirkes, the shirt looks a bit heavy and a bit big for him. Robbo came on. I know, as Craig said, he's had a heavy week, but that was a really naive rookie error, showing Amari Hutchinson inside onto his left foot. Robbo's got to have more about him to send him on the outside. The second goal was weak from McAllister. Gakpo didn't track his man. The goals are conceding because, watching the game today, Dan, if you paused that game on 30 minutes and you said Liverpool would lose 3-0 from 30 minutes, it was impossible. Because they played really well, Liverpool. They played quite well. And all of a sudden, like the guys are saying, as soon as they lose, and there's too many red flags, they're conceding goals from set plays, far too many, and they keep going behind. 6 defeats and 7 for champions. There's loads of red flags there to put Arne Slot under a little bit of pressure, or a lot of pressure. Because, as I said, there's a way to lose a game, and you can lose a game by having a real good go, and you can come out the wrong end of a 4-3 or a 3-2. Today, like Macca said, I think you're just sitting there thinking, how on earth has the team that's second bottom of the league gone to Anfield and won 3-0? It's incredible.
There's one guy who I think has escaped criticism so far.
Who?
Gravenberg.
Okay.
This is a guy who, no question, after Salah and maybe Van Dijk, was Liverpool's best player last year. No question. He was in the right place all the time. He made great decisions. He started attacks. His main job is to be that block, that guy in front of the back 4 that orders the other 2 around, lets them go forward when they can, and he fills in behind and he covers the holes. He's done none of that this year. I know he's missed a couple of games, but he absolutely has done none of that. So Craig's talking earlier about how Salah's disappeared. Van Dijk, what's going on here? Gravenberg's just another one who, as fantastic as he was last year, has completely disappeared again.
So who is this on, Macca? The fact that we see Salah, Van Dijk, Gravenberg, every Liverpool player seems to have dropped, and Arne Slot doesn't seem to be able to find the answer.
I think it's on everybody. Dan, you can have all the plaudits and the platitudes of last year. I've said this before, which we gave them. They won the league. They were amazing. We all said the same. And this year, they've they've been really disappointing. So actually, it is all of them. It's not Van Dijk, it's not Mo Salah, it's absolutely every single one of them. It's not Mo Salah and Van Dijk because they've just signed new contracts. It's not Trent Alexander-Arnold because he's just left. It's not Tyler Morton and Harvey Elliott because they've left. It's on all of them. They have to take responsibility for everything. You can take everything and get all the pats on the back and you say you're amazing, you've won the league. But when it goes the other way, you have to take the criticism. You have to say, right, it's not good enough.